MonsterConTV!
What is that box?
Hi, this is Katie with MonsterConTV, and we are here with Scorpion Sound Design. This is one of the co-owners.
Lauren. I'm Lauren.
Lauren and Lauren?
Yeah, no, Lauren. Just me. Okay. I'm Lauren.
They are based out of Austin, Texas, and we were going to get a feel of their current business. So how long have y'all had Scorpion Sound?
I started the company in 2006.
2006. And did you have a lot of your own equipment, or did y'all? How did y'all meet and collaborate with everything that you use for your production company?
Well, I moved from California, where I had been a performing artist, worked in bands, toured, did different things like that, and I wanted to start producing. And I met Robert when I came out to Austin about 2007 or something like that, and I was already producing music and doing things like that, and had already gotten my feet wet in film. And once I got my feet wet in film, there was just really no going back. So what I did was I sold off all my band equipment that I had, and I bought recording equipment and spent money going to Berkeley, and learning how to produce and do audio.
Well, that's wonderful. So what are some of your favorite past projects?
I worked on Circus of the Dead, which was really a big challenge and a lot of fun. And I've had some other things that I've done with the Billy Pond team over there that's always been fun. And I've worked on, a couple of other horror films that were just really great. I just like the genre. It allows me, a lot of creativity. So I kind of stick within this genre.
That's wonderful. And so what are some projects that you have in the works at the moment?
Well, I have a director that I'm working with who does sci-fi films. And so right now I'm cooking up sounds for a large drone that's going to be going overhead, and robots, and different kind of gunfire than I'm used to doing, more laser and that type of stuff. And it's a sci-fi thriller, some really a post-apocalyptic thing. So yes, I'm looking forward to that.
So you're based out of Austin, and I was actually having this discussion with my friend last night where they were like, oh, there are sound studios in Dallas and Austin. They didn't know that was a thing. Do you find that there really aren't? Is what you offer in Austin pretty unique? Because I have honestly, up until y'all, not really heard of very many sound.
Yeah. Well, usually you have people that do different portions of the whole entire sound package that's needed for a film. You've got a sound editor who is probably separate from the composer, who is probably separate from the mixing engineer, who might be separate from the Foley person, and that kind of thing. And in the independent world, if you have a producer like me that can do it all and do all of it, then you're, I think it's a bonus.
You're guaranteed your clientele.
Yeah, I think we're unique in that way because not a lot of people want to do all of it. They just want to do their little portion and pass it on. There's a lot of responsibility with wrapping your arms around an entire sound package. It's a lot of work, a lot of hats to wear.
So about how many hours would you say you do clock, in a week? I'm sure it has to be astronomical.
Yeah, I don't really keep track of the time. I just don't, and I just plow through it, but it's thousands of hours. Not a week, but thousands of hours on, spent on films. Yeah.
So how do you generally enjoy splitting the duties? Since you are both married, do y'all find that takes away or that it makes everything a lot smoother?
Typically what I get from Robert is a lot of different ideas and inspiration for things because I tend to, when you're working on an hour and a half, film or something like that, you just tend to get into a certain pace and a certain way of working and like a certain mindset. And so he's there for really great collaborative ideas, you know, from his perspective. And I tend to incorporate all of them because they always just seem to work.
So he's your muse, and you're the muscle.
Yeah, I do all the engineering and I do all the work. And Bob is there for if I need guitar, bass, vocals, things like that. So he's like a utility guy that way in terms of music, you know.
That's wonderful. And so y'all also handle all of your own mastering before you send it off, or is that a separate? You said you do it all, so.
Yeah, I do the mixing and mastering as well.
That is so impressive. What are your plans for the trade show? You said you have a panel coming up.
I do. The panel is well, it's not a panel. It's just me.
Same thing.
It's at 4:30, and it's called Rockin' Your Horror Film Sound, and it's kind of just to, you know, help the up-and-comers and people that are, you know, typically it seems like people work on, you know, 4 to 5 or more films before they learn a really good process with sound. So I'm just kind of here to help them make less mistakes, you know, that kind of thing. Help them, you know, save some time by giving them really good information to go by, you know.
Well, it sounds like over the course of your years, you will end up being a really prominent instructor. I think, you know, if you've already gotten this, you really do wear a lot of hats. So do you travel for trade shows often? Is that one of your favorite ways of getting yourself out there? Or like how else do you spread your
most of my work is through referrals. You know, I just have a lot of referrals, and I have so much work that I don't, you know, need to advertise so much. But it's good to come to Frightmare. It's good to come to Frightmare because when people in the industry that are dedicated and devoted to the industry, they see you here every single year, then they know that you've got staying power and that you're in it, you know, and that you're devoted and dedicated to it, which is really good. You know, you need that kind of devotion, I think, when you're trusting your film, you know, to your sound person.
So are there any other affiliates here that you're excited to run into, or are there any guests here that you're really excited to come across?
I'm excited that Dario Argento is here. I know. I'm excited. I'm excited to meet him. Every year it's different. You know, there's always one person, you know, that you get excited about. So.
Well, once again, this is Lauren with Scorpion Sound Design, and I'm Katie with MonsterConTV, and we will see you around the trade show.